Okay, let's talk about stereotypes.
Today's video is on the top 5 stereos in 2023.
No, not those kind of stereotypes. I mean Canadian stereotypes, several of which are true. Like A, Canadians are super duper insanely polite. B, Canadians have that cute accent that makes you giggle every time someone says, "What's that about?" or "Sorry." But the third very true stereotype about Canadians is that they love the outdoors way too much, especially Canadians who live in British Columbia. They're always hiking, camping, kayaking, always out in the forest. I mean, for the amount of rent that you pay in BC, you sure don't spend a lot of time in that house. Now, my guest today on the show is a quintessential British Columbian, to the extent that when I asked him, "Hey, could you be a guest on my show today?" he said, "For sure, Charlie, as long as you meet me in the forest and as long as we go mountain biking first." Guy! Anyway, this is Willie, and you're watching Vibes and Visas. Mountain biking, Willie. Guy, come on, man. Okay, twende. Hello. My name is Charlie Karomi, and apart from being drop-dead gorgeous and incredibly talented, I am also an immigrant. You see, in 2022, I packed up my bags and left my home country of Kenya to a country I'd never been to before, for adventure, for opportunity, for meh, why not? But my story is not unique. You see, every single year, tons of people immigrate to new countries to start new lives, just like me. That means tons of new exciting stories are out there. This is a place where you'll get to listen to some of them. This is Vibes and Visas.
And now my love for you is so strong.
Okay, here we are. This is Vibes and Visas, the place where immigrants, adventurers, explorers come to share their stories of adventure and challenges and surmounting those challenges. And for today, we have the one, the only, Bwana Willie Niaje. Wacha kwanza nikuulize, how long have you been biking, sijui riding a bike, nini? Umekuwa ukifanya hizi vitu for how long? How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing this now for the last 4-5 years.
Now, you're not getting tired?
Ay, manze, kichaka.
Kichaka.
Ukiingia tu unakwanga hapo ndo go home. Uko at peace.
That's what I'm telling you. British Columbians, Canadians in general, but watu wa British Columbia mnakuanga hivyo.
Kuna kitu inakubambanga na forest. Najua ilumeamka home unataka kufikiria, kuna hiyo quietness, najua solitude.
Yeah.
You get all of that in British Columbia, in this forest, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I admire.
Yeah.
So when I go for runs, when I go for bike ridings, I feel at peace, the quietness.
You just want to, unataka kuwa tu out in nature. Unakimbia tu, you're out in nature.
Una blend.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But Willie, thank you so much for joining us on Vibes and Visas. So, what we usually do, kawaida, we start the show, not even by learning who Willie is or what Willie does. We start by asking you, what was your mission when you came to Canada? Because you are an immigrant like me. At one point, you came from Kenya, and then you came to Canada. What was your mission?
Hapa tutachoma.
Choma! Ban it for the, if you do not speak Swahili, what choma means is he's about to burn them. Aya, choma. He's about to say something controversial.
Mimi nilikuwa naepa tu shida.
So, mission ya Willie kutoka Kenya, kuhepa shida.
Things were just tough. Things were not working. I had just so many things going on.
Yeah.
And I had to figure things out for my family and for myself. and some expectations. So kwangu kutoka tu Kenya mimi nilikuwa naipa tu shida. Yangu tu ilikuwa tu ile nakwambia nikienda sirudi. Wakinipatia tu hivi nipatie hiyo ndege. Hakuna vile na kama walikosea.
Yo, props on the honesty. Wewe kuna audanganyi mtu hapa hivi. Sijui hakuna ilikuwa kuhepa shida.
Mimi hata watu wasema ngati naenda nisome ndarudi kusaidia sijui mtaani.
Wewe Kenya umepitia.
Hizi za kwa activist. Ni nilikapitia. So I was just looking for a way out, and once I found a way out, I was like, I'm running with it.
By the way, shikilia hapo hivyo. That honesty, very refreshing. So wacha nikuulize, ndivyo mtu aelewe. Mtu anawacha hapa hivi asikia tu umesema mimi ndiko na hepa shida, anasema ai, Uliana kama amekuwa na maisha fiti. What do you mean kuhepa shida? Hebu tu explain kwani how was life back home? How was it set up? Ni shida gani? Ilikuwa ya kazi, ya shule ama ilikuwaje?
I come from a middle family. Like we are not well off, we're not poor, but we do, yes?
Yeah.
We're just there, right?
Comfortable,
like yes.
Comfortable, yeah.
University tutakulipia bila shida, najua this and this. But there's different expectations, right? So ukisema upitia shida, look at it this way. You have a degree from a university.
Ulienda uni gani by the way?
Kwea, Catholic University.
Hey, watu wa Kwea mko wapi?
Umegraduate na honors yako.
Yes.
Right? Uende job market hakuna kazi.
Walai.
Umesukuma miaka 6 ukiapply upatange job, interviews hazika mingi. Then you resort to transport na nini.
What do you mean transport?
So
matatu, uliendesha matatu?
Uliendesha matatu, meja kidogo, hiyo ilikuwa matatu yetu, mkalipisha matatu yetu kidogo ni kwa uni.
Hey, ulikuwa Donda?
Yeah.
Come on.
In fun.
Route gani by the way? Route gani? 111. Ngong.
See, yes, but I was shy. So Donda, I wouldn't have cut it Donda kidogo, I was shy. Mom, pole sana nasema ukweli. Ulijaribu but hapana, hakuwa anajua niko kwa matatu. Alikuwa anaambiwa. Alikuja kujua baadaye. Ushabeba mtu alafu best yake anambia, kijana wako alinibeba asubuhi. Sema kijana wangu sinafaa kwa high school. Nafaa kwa Kwea kwa class. Come on. And then the other one is
pause. Umesema shida ilikuwa you were a bit shy.
I was shy, so unaka confidence kana coming in kwa Donda. Najua you have to approach people msana mashida tu zake hataki kuona. Ile tu ya stage. So driving was a refuge. Kwa sababu hapo deal na watu ni una deal na shukisha panda. So ukatoka kwa Donda ukaenda kwa dereva? Yes, but now would do a few nikitoka shule au madereva walikuwa wanajua. So nikiwaletea gari asubuhi ndio job wanajua umsaje kupeleka. So wanakupatia maskodi kidogo niko chuo. One reason that's why my mom I think disposed of that matatu. Aliona kijana atapotea. Walai. Yes, but then nikaendelea na uni, but niko uni and then niko na pick up nikaanza kazi za kubeba transport. So I've transversed Kenya anywhere. Tell me anywhere I've not been in Kenya, northeastern peke yake. Yeah. Hizo Meru, Nakuru, Western coast. Ulikuwa unapeleka? Mazoto wanahamanga na vitu zingine, mashida zingine, matransfer na nini. Hakuna kitu sijapeleka. Ulikuwa unahamisha watu? Ni hata maiti. Hakuna mali atupelekangi. Hakuna kitu sija utaniambia sijabeba. Mkate I did transport ya mkate before ninge uni. Yeah. So long story short, my cousin became sick, wakona kanta. Yeah. Then I was like, the closest person who can drive mimi. Pate funguo. Nikaanza kudrive. So to go Kenya, there's 2 major bakeries. That's Ken Bless and Elliott's. Ken Bless operates from Thika. Ken Bless, Elliott's operates from Nairobi. Ken Bless operates from Thika. Yeah. Now, the difference of major and mini bakeries is location. Yeah. Right? Mini bakeries, kina Superloaf. They have bakeries all over. Yeah. Right? So for them, distribution is easy. Uko Kiambu, you
Uko na
distribute
bakery ka Kiambu.
Major bakery, mkate yote ya Ken Blessed unaionanga anyway, imetoka Thika. Mkate yote ya Elliot's unaonanga anyway in Nairobi. It's coming from industrial area.
So kama niko Kijabe ama kama niko Limuru nakula Ken Blessed imetoka Thika.
Imetoka Thika. If you are in Nakuru, unakula Elliot's, imetoka Inda. So think about it. So the hard part of distributing mkate was timings, right? For me to get to Nakuru in the morning by 6-7 a.m. because hiyo ndo watu wanaanza kubuy mkate, shops zimefunguliwa. Mtu alitoka Nairobi saa ngapi?
Nakuru tuseme ukikanyaga sana Nairobi to Nakuru 2.5 hours.
No, yeah, that's the assumption, but you don't have one stop only, right? I have to come all the way Kangare, Kangemi, Limuru.
And all this time you're making stops.
You're making stops and drop overs, right?
Yeah.
All the way to Nakuru, right? All those small on the highway, that's your route, right?
So basi you left Nairobi at 2 a.m. or like 3 a.m.
Yeah, 2 a.m. so that you are flyover coming to Naivasha by 6:30, drop-offs. Then when you're done, you have to wait because these guys have to sell, collect the money, and then you come back with empties.
Wait, you have to wait for the money and the crates as well?
Pretty much. Yeah, bread operates like I supply you today, then you pay me tomorrow. So basically today I'm picking money from yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And then with the empties coming back.
Yeah.
Sometimes at the end I can't take money from today, so I have to wait for you to sell. Some instances, right? So
that sounds like efficiency, my friend. That is so efficient. So me transport mkate. Tu umesema watu kuhama.
Mkate, that was the first one.
Maiti pia.
Yeah, I've done that one. Na pickups. Yeah, and then getting somebody who's relocating. Somebody relocating from Nairobi to Meru. I've been to Meru, Lare, Maua. Been to those areas. Been to Kinango.
Kama mattress, manini unazijaza huko nyuma.
Nyumba yake yote lazima itosheke hiyo pickup, eh?
Walai.
So maza kupanga. Kuna formula.
It's like Tetris. Unajua Tetris venye mtu yupanga to blocks unasema L shape inaingia hapa, box inaingia.
Inakuwa kuplay Lego. Kiti inaendanga hapa, chini ya kiti hii lazima iende hapa. Najua.
Meza uipindue iingie na side hivyo.
Alafu kufanya hizo vitu zote kuna karao, kuna vile unaweza panga karao kuja kuambia dangerous loading ama nini. Hii barabara ina story.
So while you're doing all of this, you have your degree from Kwea.
So when I was doing a little bit of matatu, I was studying in Kwea. When I did transporting bread, I was still studying in Kwea. Then when I did all the transport, I was still in Kwea. So for me, Kwea, I got a C+. So I had to do a bridging course to get into Kwea. So that 1 year, then I got into Kwea.
Yeah.
And then when I got into Kwea, I focused more on the pickup and transporting with pickups and studying. Now, reason of being in the pickup was tunafunganga shule ile semester refu. Sindio,
you're on the
long break.
2 semester thing, yeah.
Yes, Kenya ni 2 semesters, so you have this long break. Umeka home, umesota. Najua, umesota.
Hauna kakitu. Hawezi itisha hata pocket money juu mzazi atakuuliza ya kwenda wapi. Niko radhi.
Kuna ile pickup ya majani hapo ya ng'ombe.
Na imekaa tu.
Sasa utafanya nini? So tuichukue tuende nayo transport. Kaanza hivyo transport.
Entrepreneur, that's what you are.
Transport unajilipia school fees. Alafu hapo unaguzisha mother kado kidogo.
Unamwambia anasema mtoto wangu
is doing good. Ikaendelea hivyo.
Yeah.
Nikaendelea hivyo nikamaliza uni. Niko na hiyo bado nafanya transport. But things started becoming thick later on, right? Unajua hizi biashara ufundishwangi vitu. Kuna vitu we should teach our kids, right? Unafaa mtu akwambie hata kwa gari ni mpita zaeka. No one tells you that. You always think itakwambia.
Ukifanya hesabu kwa kichwa yako, cost zenye una count ni maybe service na mafuta. How count kununua gari ingine ama the cost of the car.
Yes, and then you're a teen. When you're a teen, what do you do on weekends?
Dunda, my friend. Sherehe.
Hii pesa una making do. Yes, kwanza uko uni uko na do kwa sababu uta make tatu in a transport in a good day. Those days we could make 3,000, 4,000 in a good day. Azikuwa mob. to 2002 when I started transport, 2003. The 2003, I kid you, there was not a lot of pickups for transport.
So demand was high.
In Ngong, the demand was high. Even Gikomba, I could tell you which cars are in Gikomba. Like I could tell you.
And you count them.
Yes.
Kuna Goge.
Yes.
There's Otieno. There's who. Yeah.
Not a lot. So price of fuel, cheap.
Low.
So you could also, even you could get fuel from backstreet vendors. That's another thing. But again, you were making good money. It comes to 2008, then you find people who are retiring. What they're doing, they're buying pickup trucks, they're buying trucks, and they're coming to the same field, right? Now competition is coming in.
So supply has now gone, the supply has gone up.
Yes.
So demand inashuka, so the cost of things, yeah.
The advantage is because I started transport 2003, so I was not affected by like...
Because you have your customers.
You have a lot of customers. Your customer base is big, right?
Loyal.
So hatu kana pick up mzeo. Unda natubebeanga. Najua mseo.
Hata tunaweza mpatia vitu waende, sisi hata tusikuwe na yeye.
Uko mbele. But the customer base, I was never worried about the customer base. Problems start arising when you realize you had the same pickup in 2003, now it's 2012, 2013, it's getting old, right? So maintenance becomes just inakufanya makanika manze. Gari ukiona gari makufanya makanika.
Ati kila time kwa gari uko na overall na uko na
overall na uko na toolbox. Na uko na toolbox nyingi kushinda makanika wako.
Hata nakuja kuuliza, kaka neka neko, hii tool ni gani sijaiona? Which tool is this?
Wewe kwambia ukiona msee uko na sockets na box pana kwa gari. Wewe ni makanika. Wewe si maintenance.
Wewe ni makanika.
Wewe ni makanika. Unafanya nini na sockets na extension? No, wewe ni makanika.
So wait, venye ulimeniambia ukiwa uni, ukiwa late high school, bridging uni, at least your time you're making some money, and ile yenye tulisema ulikuwa na hepa shida ijaingia properly yet.
Shida iko imeingia. Sasa hiyo.
So shida ilikuja saa ngapi?
Shida ilikam 2009, 2010. My first problem was changing the motor engine, right? So that's the big one. Again, that's my teen years, right?
Yeah.
So bado kona ile, you make money, you're spending it.
Come on.
You're dressing.
Let's go.
Drip, right?
Yes.
Kila kitu,
yeah.
Right? So 2009, 2010, the first problem was engine. Uko na gari, alafu unaambiwa hiyo engine ipatikanangi.
What do you mean haipatikani? But ndio iko hii gari nitafutie tu nyingine kama hii.
It's good to have local cars, right? Local cars are
amazing.
Phenomenal,
yeah.
Right? But the problem with local cars is local spare parts, finding them. You can find linings, you can find universals, but when it comes to transmissions and you're looking for motors, that's where the problem arises.
What kind of car did you have?
So I had an Isuzu. It's not a Tafa. Tafa was 2.5.
Yeah.
So this was the previous version, which was a 2.3.
Yeah.
So TFRs were direct injection. These ones were not direct injection. You had to heat up in the morning. Now,
so ukaenda kutafutia
engine ya 2.3, nilizunguka Nairobi. Ushaenda River Road umeikosa, unaambiwa uende Kariobangi unaikosa, unaambiwa sijui Dandora unaikosa. Kuna mtu mwingine anakuambilia paka place, kuna place tao kuna Karioko makaburini wale wanakatanga magari, unaikosa. Unakosa hiyo engine.
Na hiyo gari kama imelala haitengenezi do.
I make do na ni local. Na sasa si unatafuta engine. So ikabaki okay, now to change engine. Kizungumkuti. Pesa engine ni ilikuwa around 180,000.
Yeah.
Hiyo pesa uko nayo.
You've been using all your money. When you get money, you put it into fuel, maybe service, ingine sherehe.
Na hata ile una save, so you have like 40,000 because still you're saving,
yeah.
But even if you have 40, 50, you need 180 for transmission. That's not including labor, right? And even ukibuy your engine, you need to pay for transport itoke Inda ikuja hapo River Road ndio mtu aifunganishe, najua. Yeah, so what do? Classical, unaacha gari kwa garage, alafu after siku 3 mzazi anakuuliza na gari kwa wapi?
Mami.
Na sionangi.
Na si ati anaitumianga lakini amekuja nyumba yake akasema by the way na gari yangu.
But we had an agreement. The agreement was you take this vehicle, you use it for your transport thing, you make your money, you pay your own school fees, you pay your, no, you're not your school fees, you pay your transport to school, your expenses, your dressing.
No, usiniitishe pocket money.
Yes, and don't give me anything, right?
Yeah.
So at some point it was like, don't give me anything, pay the vehicle insurance, all the maintenance, don't give me anything, right? But now, how do you go back to your parent and tell them like,
Car is dead.
Car is dead, and we had an agreement. So you have to maintain everything, right?
Yeah.
That was the agreement. You take the vehicle, you go do blah, blah, blah. I won't ask you for money, but
Maintain
you have to maintain it and keep it running. And the other one is, if you can't, then you can park it right there outside. You park it there.
Yeah.
Hey, maze, gari haiko hata hapo alikwambia uparkingi. Iko River Road. Umeiacha.
And this is after uni. So hii time yote
this is when I was
imechill.
Still in uni. I was about to finish uni. Now it's there. I was just about to finish uni. It's there, no stuff. Luckily, thanks mom, she bailed me out.
Hey,
And how many times she has bailed me out?
Tunaongeza +1. There are many times hii tumesema +1.
She bailed me out.
Oh.
And then again, go back to the transport. But now I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Like, you need to save more.
Yeah.
But I learned my lesson a little bit too late because now the vehicle was old and the maintenance was high. And again, when you go put in a new engine, then so many problems develop in cars. Mechanic hiyo anakuambianga ekele engine itakuwa poa. Vitu nyingi hawakwambiangi. Vitu nyingi hawakwambiangi.
Yeah.
You put in a new engine, it's not the same engine which was there because you couldn't find the exact replacement, right?
Yeah.
So many things developed over there, right? So many problems start developed from that point.
Yeah.
Sasa meka engine kubwa kushinda ile umetoa.
So maybe hata after injection inakuwa shida, the radiation becomes a thing.
Now it consumes more,
systems.
Consumes more. You need to replace the radiator kwa sababu sasa inaanza kuchemka sababu engine kubwa. Then you know your transmission. Gear yako ilikuwa imetengenezwa gari ndogo, umeka engine kubwa.
So you have to change that
again.
Well.
You're not changing, but hizo ndo shida sasa zinaanza kukukuta. Now those are the problems which caught me. I had like 3 gearboxes in my places. Unaeka gear, tuna run 3-4 months, inaharibu, inachapa, mnafungua, mnatengeneza 3-4 months, inachapa, hivyo until I ended up with like 3 gearboxes.
Unaulizwa kwani ni collection ya gearboxes unaanza?
Yes. Alafu diff. You have an engine which is bigger than your differential, right?
Yeah.
So unashinanga ukiharibu diff. So those are the problems which is like, hapa umeweka kwa kona sasa. Kwa sababu you make money for a month, and then the next month
uko imelala.
Tunarudisha hiyo pesa kwa hiyo gari.
0 + 1 - 2. Hivyo ndivyo inaenda. Willy, but all of this time unaniambia you're still in uni, you're still at Kwea.
Yes.
You haven't even graduated. See, maybe after you graduate uachane na hii maisha ya nini, uanze kazi na uluku kistudy nini Kwea?
Nilisoma business management, commerce, BCom.
Si utoke na hiyo BCom utafute kazi one time uanze kuingia ofisi na suti.
Hey, Nairobi unaambiwanga Nairobi na wenyewe na si kwa
mamako. Sio kwa mamako.
Watu wanakuambianga ni shamba ya mawe. Na bado kuna watu wanakulanga kwa hiyo shamba ya mawe.
Come on.
I applied for so many jobs, so many companies, handled so many CVs.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated 2008 for various reasons. So I remember I told you I entered uni 202. I did my upgrading. So that takes a year. That takes you a year to 203, so right?
203,
So 203 is basically when I started my uni. So I'm supposed to graduate 203 to like 206, 207, right there.
Yeah.
But I ended up staying an extra year and a half in uni.
Yeah.
To various ujinga tu ya kwa kijana.
Yeah.
Zile
ni Maritik.
At Maritik. Utacheza pool.
Pool una hata daro.
Manze.
Attendance ndio ilikuangusha.
Attendance. Kukosa kufanya exam ukicheza pool. You see gambling? I played a lot of pool. I was so good at playing killer.
Kila ndio ni game moja.
Ile tunaikanga pale maballs, tuna bet do, tunanyanya na pot. That gave me an extra year. Then bad habits, which are like not drugs, but for let's say it's a legal drug in Kenya. It's veve. Yeah, I've never had a mira.
Kangeta.
Atoka mbio. Hii kitu inakanga innocent, lakini it's a vice. It's a vice which you just creep slowly and then suddenly like, okay, you're hooked on it, right? So yeah, so I ended up staying an extra year and a half because I missed so many exams playing pool, right? And Shikisha, that was generally, I would say pool, not that, more like pool. I played a lot of pool, a lot of card games, uni. Then I missed a lot of exams. But again, Mrs. Commander ni nani? Najua graduation ni siku gani? Umemiss. Tuende unipatie certificate ama turudishwe pesa yetu.
So you had to tell her that, no, not this year. Let's wait another year.
Nah. Unajua Mrs. Commander ni nani?
Alisema no.
Tuende shule na wewe, tuende niambiwe na hao, siwe uniambie. Go, and then he finds I was like, hey, my son has not taken all these exams, so he has to do all this and this, and then sat me down. We have that relationship with my mom. Like, I can literally be upfront and tell her anything, right?
Yeah.
So I got to, she was like, what happened? Right? It was like, explained stuff. I was like, okay. Gives me advice, tells you like, hey, you need to get your stuff together, right? You can't, you have to finish school. It doesn't matter what you graduate with, I need you with a certificate.
Letter
certificate. I don't know
what you do after that.
If it's a pass or what and stuff, you bring home a certificate, right? So I took a lot of evening lesson classes, and then I finished and graduated to 8. I finished my uni in 8.
Then basi masaibu iliisha, si uko na degree?
Uko na degree, umetembea Nairobi ukitafuta kazi ukipiga mamilango.
Stomaching like a proper kid.
Hizo Kimathi Street sijina umeziingia. Ushapeleka paka CV Kenya Power.
Walai. Ni kama unaenda kulipa bili ya stima lakini uko hapo ni kazi unatafuta.
Unatafuta kazi.
You couldn't find a job.
I got only one interview.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they sent me a regret letter.
Like, oh.
That's the only interview I got, right?
How many letters do you think you sent? How many application letters?
Man, I can't
50.
I don't know more than that.
You just keep sending.
You keep sending
cover letters,
sending
CVs,
cover letters, CVs, editing, sending, and then you don't get any calls. It becomes it becomes mental on you, right? Because you graduated with honors.
You worked hard.
Even with all those stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't graduate with a pass, right?
Yeah. Honors. Come on.
But again, here you are. You can't find a job. You're trying to link up with anyone who knows any connection. Well, I think mimi nilikuja kujua Nairobi, upata kazi, huku unajua mtu anajua mtu. So then I resigned was like, okay, you'll only be doing transport. So you
went back to transport.
I was still doing it.
Yeah.
Even when I was sending these CVs, I was still doing transport, right?
Yeah. Then that means you are one of the lucky ones, because imagine someone who didn't have that experience that you had doing transport. Kuna watu wenye walikuwa uni tu wakisoma wakijua wakitoka watapata kazi, wakitoka na hakuna.
Na kuna wale walitoka wakapata kazi.
Sasa
wale hawajaijua kutama. Kushapata mtu hajaizunguka Nairobi.
Kitu yenye Willy alifanya ni kutama.
Yes, nimezunguka Nairobi.
So umetafuta kazi, haupati kazi. When was the point? Was that the point that Willy said, you know what, let me try beyond the oceans. Let me come to Canada. What was that point, and why the decision to come to this country specifically?
I never made that decision. For me, sometimes some of the things which have happened in my life are just stars aligning, right?
Yeah.
For this one was my small brother. Hey, I love you to death.
Hey, bro, Willie,
he's my
what's
ride
up?
or die. So I'm a come holiday.
What do you mean, I'm a come holiday?
He's not based in Kenya.
Why?
He's based in Britain. So he comes back to
Hey,
Kenya.
Mrs. Commander, watoto wako all over the planet. Love it.
He went to alienda mbele yangu. Actually, funny story.
Yeah.
We did transport with him.
Walikuwa hapa hivi yeye ndio anaload mkate unapeleka
At
hivyo.
202 to the time he left in 205.
Eh.
We were switching back and forth. He was the one driving at some point, and then some.
Wewe ndio tani.
Akirudi shule, mimi napata nimefunga shule na drive. When both of us are in school, then we would hire a driver, and then we would send drivers because we had a customer base. Would be phoning him like, "Hey, go to this place, go drop this at this place, go drop this at this place," right? Because we had a huge customer base.
So the Kamada business rolls on regardless.
Yes. But
Love
then,
it.
he left in 205. Again, things when he was leaving, he didn't face the problems I did.
Yeah.
Unajua bado gari ilikuwa mpya.
Yeye alitoka kukiwa kusweet bado.
Alitoka gari ikiwa mpya. So mimi nilibaki nayo, mimi nilimaliza. Right? So let's going back to what you're talking about. He comes on vacation, and then my mom, out of habit from my dad, we used to read newspapers. But again, mimi sikuwa nashughulika na gazeti. Nimeapply hizi kazi na zikujangi.
Yeah, juna zonanga wanted, but yeah.
This guy comes on vacation on a Saturday morning. Anasoma gazeti, mimi hata sina shughuli na gazeti. It says a posting education in Canada. Right? And then there was like a seminar at the Hilton.
A fair, like a
school fair and stuff.
Yes.
At the Hilton, right?
Come on.
Miss Jayona.
Yeah.
Akaniambia niaje? Umeona hii? Akanipatia gazeti, kaangalia. Hapa nikamrudishia. In my mind, I'm not thinking about Canada.
Hapo.
Then it was like, they speak with my mom for a few minutes, and I was like, unaweza taka kwenda Canada? Again, what is the hit? Najua, nile msaki kuuliza saa hii tu.
Nitakwenda nika mtu aniuliza unataka kwenda Sweden, I'm like
Sijafikiria, come.
Yeah.
At all. It does never hit me that I could move across the borders and again. So I was like, yes. Okay. Then again, he operates on a schedule and timelines. He doesn't like lateness and stuff like that. Like, oh, it's on Tuesday 20. Tuesday evening. So Tuesday evening, this Jengia Hilton your time. Tumeingia Hilton.
Yeah.
Panda stairs, kusoma kwa stairs. Unafikiria kwenda Canada?
Huyu ni bro yako alikuuliza sasa.
And this one ngambia. Naenda.
I guess.
Okay, we go in, we queue. At the front of the queue, I don't recognize the guy seated at the end of the table. Then my brother hits me, like, that's Emmanuel. I was like, Emmanuel?
Who's Emmanuel?
I was like, who's Emmanuel? Hits me, like, that's Emmanuel. Who's Emmanuel? I was like, so when I was young, when I was in my teen, like 12, 8 to like 14, I was an altar server in a Catholic church. This guy was part of our group as altar servers then, right? Then, so we have a history.
Mlikuwa kanisa ya Katoliki.
Yes. Then I told you my brother went to Britain in 205.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who processed his papers in 205.
Come on.
And now we are talking about, now here we are in 2013. So I've not seen this guy 10 years, more than 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm seeing him 2013. And my brother still recognizes him.
It's like, that's Emmanuel.
That's Emmanuel. Then we get the front, he calls me by name.
It's like, Willie.
Willie, Lawrence. I was like, Lawrence, how you doing? How's it going? I was like, yeah. It's like, okay. Now, that's why I tell you, stars align sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're aligned in the newspaper, go to Hilton, and the guy who's supposed to help you is somebody.
It's Emmanuel.
It's somebody you recognize, somebody who has helped one of you.
Yeah.
So that's like...
There's that trust already, yeah.
Yes, so I was like, okay, now fate is you need to go to Canada. And at that time, he was only doing Canada. So that's how I ended up. I was like, okay, I can go to Canada now. I can go to Canada.
And that was the moment the decision to come to Canada was made.
Yes, the decision was there. I was like, still was skeptical. And then my brother was like, do you need time to think about it? I was like, call your wife, ask your wife what she thinks. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, why not? You guys, we can go.
Let's go. Tumejaribu hapa hivi tunashinda because you talk at 2008, 5 years 2013, you can't find the job that you want, kazi ya transport umepeleka hata maiti, umefanya kila kitu, IGP
hakuna kitu sema. Umeenda kuhamisha mtu ushaenda kuhamisha mtu anatoroka.
Ni usiku kabla landlord amshike.
Ama mtu anaipa wife anaipa jahazi. Alafu mkutwe. Hizi drama nimeziona. You learn tricks of the trade to the point that I could walk into somebody's house, I could look at the stuff in the house, and I could tell you there's a man living here or there's no man living here.
You could tell papa.
Right.
Papa.
Yeah,
you're expert.
It's tuingie kwa nyumba alafu unaniambia chukua hii hacha hii, tunaachia nani?
Beba.
Toka. Rudi, achana na hiyo kazi. Chukua hii, acha hii. Chukua hii, acha hii. Achana na hiyo kazi. Hiyo karao atakuja kukutafuta. Tunaingia mtu anakuambia, naishi peke yangu, alafu kuna viatu za chali pale.
Namwambia,
na si pea moja. Acha. Or the other one you transport.
You're an accessory to a crime now.
Or now you transport things and then msana anakuambia shukisha kwa barabara. Where, you move things from one place to another place, right? You're moving from Kangemi to Odhero, Kangemi to Kinoo. But you're not moving, mtu anakuambia tunaenda Kangemi, lakini si kwa nyumba. Kangemi anakuambia shukisha kwa stage.
Urudisha hizo vitu penye umezitoa.
Yes.
Willy, let me pause you tu hapo kidogo. We've seen where we are at right now. Tumeona umejaribu kazi ya transport. Umetembea karibu Kenya mzima. You've really tried to find a job because you worked hard in school, graduated with honors. You're trying to find a job for 5 years. Nothing is hitting. Yes. You're trying, but nothing is. You're throwing the ugali onto the wall. It's not sticking. It's always falling. And then you met Emmanuel. And that's when the decision to come to Canada was made.
Yes.
We'll come back to that. We'll pick up from there, making that decision and the processing and then moving to Canada. Because will you have to tell us the story from there all the way till here. We are seated in the forests of British Columbia, beautiful place. Na tumesema ati after unaenda futa tena.
Boli kwa damu hizi siku.
Willy hata tutaenda mahali tukae chini tuongee. So imagine saizi ananipeleka futa. Ama huko anasemanga soccer. You're going to play soccer?
Soccer.
Right now, Willy? Oh my God. Okay, guys, we're gonna go play soccer. But when we come back, the story of Willy and his journey to Canada right here on Vibes and Visas. Don't you go nowhere.
And now my love for you is so strong.